Yeah. Bad Habit in the building.
Uh,
Straight out of the city of Carson, baby. Here to show love to the barbecue hour.
Carson is really well represented on the barbecue
it all.
hour.
We do it all.
Cool.
okay, man. We want to get to know a little bit more about my man B Hab, right?
Yeah.
Now, what everybody out there in barbecue land wants to know what's behind the name.
Right.
I know Joe Sav has many bad habits.
Yes.
Right.
That we may not want to disclose on air.
Yeah, we don't want to declothe either.
That's actually one of his bad habits.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Anyway,
and eating cheeseburgers. And, yeah.
So
Vegan cheeseburger.
So let our listeners know out there, and we got listeners from China to Italy. Everybody out there is dying to know what is behind the name Bad Habit. Give it to them.
It's a metaphor. Metaphor musically and me personally.
Okay.
It's pretty much, if you want to understand it deeper, it's self-explanatory. I'm an addiction through music, and this is who I am personally. I am a bad habit. You consume me in different ways, get addicted and stimulated through my music and from me personally.
So how long have you now? You're ladies and gentlemen. He is a hip hop artist. He is an MC.
Right.
He's not a rapper.
No.
I'm
Or
a
are
musician.
you a rapper? He's
I'm
a musician. Okay.
Or a poet.
Or a poet.
Yeah.
Right? So what inspires your lyrics? Obviously, with true MCs, true hip-hop artists, and we only invite true artists here on the Barbecue Hour.
Right.
What inspires your lyrics?
Poetry, and the people who's really out here doing it because it's a lifestyle,
Okay.
not because it's just music. I have a very deep passion for this, and at the end of the day, any and everybody that's a real artist or a real musician understands that there's meaning behind what you say.
Oh,
nice.
So at the end of the day, from me, I speak from my heart. And
Okay.
when I get on that microphone and whatever I write lyrically, that's what it is. And I meant that, so inspiration wise, I get it from like the greats, the late greats, Tupac, Biggie,
Yeah.
and some R&B, Bone Thugs and Harmony,
Okay.
even R&B, Usher. I can go different routes
Kanga.
with it.
So, hang on, no. But, so what I think a lot of the listeners want to know is, like, how did you start? Like, how did you get on? When did it start? How
Right.
old were you?
Well, honestly, elementary school.
Wow. It was
That
like
deep.
A, B, C, D,
Uh,
E, F,
yeah.
G.
See, a lot of
That's why
I
Q
love my
never
P.
made it. Yeah.
a lot
Right.
of people don't understand this is not an overnight thing.
Okay.
I mean, everybody can say yes, I rap, yes,
Yeah.
I sing.
Yep, it's true.
But experience along the way comes with it. The ups and downs. So elementary school was when I actually performed in front of an audience. I grabbed the microphone, and I remember it was Bone Thugs and Harmony, Crossroads.
Wow.
You
Boom,
know?
boom, boom, boom,
Right.
boom, boom,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now tell me what you gonna do. Real talk though, real talk. Music is in my blood pretty much. I remember my mom telling me when I was a baby,
Yeah.
I cried a lot, but she figured it out. She used to put a boombox next to me, and literally as soon as she put that boombox next to me, I'll be quiet. I'll just sit there and stare at the ceiling and just listen.
Yo, son,
This is what she told me.
did mom have like a whole bunch of D batteries? Because the boombox used like 12 D batteries.
Yes. I think it was like 8, but yeah.
Right, but that
And it came with a cardboard. Yeah.
that's real talk though. Ever since elementary school, ever since I was a kid, and pretty much ongoing from freestyling to writing and doing shows and listening to other artists and writing their lyrics down and practicing bars and all that stuff.
Cool.
So, like, was there anybody in the industry right now that kind of, like, helped put you on to the scene?
Help put me on. I mean,
What does that mean?
As of right now,
What does that mean?
I'm
What does put
taking
me
being
on? What
on
does
as
that
like
initiate
being on,
you.
and it's initiating me.
Yeah. Give you your first start, like your first real, like, show.
Joe, for all those people out there that don't know what "put me on" means, I really want to know what that means.
Initiate. Put me on.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I had a lot of guidance. I had a lot of guidance along the way.
Okay.
As far as even people in general that I just meet along the way, not necessarily in the industry.
Okay.
I mean, I've had people that gave me advice and put me on as like saying mentally, put me on mentally. You know, I'm still at the stage where I'm still trying to get there. But shout out to Brand Broker. You know, I've been working with Five Eye, of course, my business advisor. He's really been. I could tell you guys out there right now, man. He's a great individual as a person, first and foremost.
Yeah.
But the business mind of this guy right here, man, he's great. You know, he taught me a lot of things, and I've barely been working with him for about a month and a half. You know, going on 2.
So thank you for bringing that up. Obviously, for Vi, this is a gentleman that you represent. Where do you see his career going, say, in the next 5 years? Where do you see Bad Habit going?
Well, you know what? We actually spoke about this on the way here, and I said the reason why, when I actually met him, it was his work ethic that stood out, and that's one thing, again, within the music industry or even the entertainment industry that you're gonna have to have, and so it was the work ethic that stood out for him.
Ladies and gentlemen, listen to this very closely for all you aspiring MCs, for all you aspiring artists. If you want to be the best trash man ever, you want to be the best artist, what is the secret for
work ethic? You got to have that work ethic and consistency, but most importantly, you got to be passionate about it. You got to be passionate about the craft that you do. Don't chase the money, chase your passion. And that's the brandbrokerbottomline.com. The spiritual mission behind it is to create a whole generation that chases after their passion, because we believe the byproduct of that is that we create a happier humanity. And so that's the ultimate goal. But as far as Bad Habit in his music career, man, I co-sign off of him. He's going to be one of the biggest artists as far as hip-hop goes or music goes, because he's musically talented.
Yeah.
And it all came back to his discipline, his sacrifice, as well as work ethic to make sure that he puts himself in the best position to win. So that's why I was saying spirituality is intact as well.
So I think definitely every week we want to make sure that we come on the barbecue hour. We want to spread love. We want to spread knowledge. And so the lesson of the week is work ethic.
Work ethic.
Attitude dictates altitude.
Absolutely.
Believe it.
Wow.
Man, I'm coming with him tonight.
Dalai Lama.
Quotes here. Q.
Man, my man read some quotes on his way over here, so.
So we have a tradition here on the barbecue hour, a tradition of 4 weeks, because we've only had 4 shows. It's a really short tradition, really young tradition.
Okay.
But the segment that we like to present to our guests is called Playtime. And what that means,
let's play around.
Something like that. But for all of our artists, we want everybody to get an opportunity to hear you do your thing.
Right.
We want to strip you from all the auto tunes and all the production. This is a live show,
This
bro.
is live.
Right. So if you got, you got to come with it. And that's the reason why we invited you. And we're so blessed to have you right here on the barbecue
thank you.
hour.
It's a pleasure.
Ladies and
Yes,
gentlemen,
sir.
B-Hab. So we're going to.
But before we go on,
Okay.
B-Hab, do you have any of like up and coming shows, projects,
Yeah, please.
things like that before?
Yes. I have a project coming out called My Generation.
Okay.
It features a lot of artists from the West Coast, of course, to the East, down to the South.
Nice.
You know, it's about probably about 20 features, different artists from R&B to hip hop.
I need to know if any of those artists have gold teeth.
Hey, yeah. Texas.
Yeah?
Got a guy from Texas.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah. Hey,
Gotta have the
that
grill.
probably, he wasn't expecting the yes answer on that one.
No, because when you said the South, man, those cats out there,
They
like,
don't play. They don't play with the team.
Right.
No, it's
something serious
it's
down
serious.
there. Something serious. It's like the Chucks down here. You
It's
know
like
what I mean?
it's like a bad habit.
You know, one thing that I wanted to mention was Bad Habit has a track out there right now called "I Am the W." It's blazing. It's kind of like infectious throughout all of hip hop right now. Tell us a little bit about that, and you know, before we go into playtime. Right. Tell us a little bit about that track.
Well, I'm the W. It's a pretty much an anthem for every individual, even kids out here on the West Coast.
Gotcha.
Anywhere there's a W on the West Coast, it's for you. It's pretty much just a big anthem for everybody to realize and recognize that it's not just about a coast. It's a lifestyle out here. We really trying to do it the way we doing. That's why I say this is how we do it around here, because you really got to know it's not just about the lowriders, the Chucks, the Sunshine. It's about a culture. and what we represent on this West Coast. Not just the gang banging, the positivity, the movement. We got to really come together as the West Coast. You know, I'm the W, you the W, she's the W. We all represented together. That's exactly what I mean with that song.
Okay.
You know?
And there are West Coasts all over the world. There's a West Coast
Right.
of Guam.
Right.
There's a West Coast of
Africa.
Samoa. So this includes all the West Coasts all over around the world.
Yeah.
And also, as far as projects, I want to mention that the shows I got coming up, man. I got this big event on June 2nd at the Reef, you know, with the Slanted Comedy Joint.
What
Shout out to
city is
Slanted
that in?
Comedy.
What
It's
city is
in
that?
Long Beach, California.
Reef in Long Beach.
You know, I got something in Hollywood with Rated R coming up on June 9th.
So you got to be
Nice.
17, at least 17.
Shout out to Rated R. And shout out to the whole Carson, man. We moving, baby.
Yeah.
So ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and cue this up. Again, this is a tradition that we do here, right here on the Barbecue Hour, right on BeetleNutRadio.com. We're going to go ahead and get Bad Habits music. We're going to get it in rotation. So be sure to log in, BeetleNutRadio.com. Check them out. And so are you ready for
ready.
playtime?
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
Ready.
Playtime.
Okay.
Barbecue
Stay
hour,
ready.
baby.
Here we go. Here we go. Are we good? Are we good? You know, I just as we're getting that set up, I want to make sure I want to make sure that I give a big shout out to Too Tall, my girl Too Tall, who's listening from the whatitdo.com. You know, I had a crazy inspirational conversation with my sister. She's doing big things, and much love to you guys, everybody from the whatitdo.com, all the hosts. And, you know, you're going to be seeing some big things from the whatitdo.com. Also, Joseph,
Okay.
next week,
what's going on next week?
we got some cats who are not from the 90745.
Finally.
Surprise. So-
Jeez.
And they're coming from the 619 area code.
6-1, Nina
And
ain't nothing, Mina and Lena.
These are some Chetlus from the 619 from San Diego. They are called Tribal Theory. So, ladies and
Nice.
gentlemen,
Give it up for Tribal Theory.
Also, we got Chamorro